Well, hello there, and welcome to the masterclass Build Your Vision and Future with Emotional Intelligence. I'm Denise Farquharson of Denise Farquharson Coaching, and what I do is that I am an emotional intelligence coach to really help and support professional leaders and teams in their corporate career and in their businesses so that they can stretch and become more aware of how they deal with the everyday activities of their products, their services. So it's great to be with you here today. And so let me tell you, in case you don't know, a little bit more about myself. And so I've been involved in coaching for quite a while. I've been a leader in many of the sectors around automotive, rail, construction, health, and utilities as well. What I found was that when I was coaching as a senior leader or as a team manager, that I was expecting certain things to happen. I was assuming things, and I felt, actually, Denise, now is the time to really stretch beyond where you are and go into a position where I was actually being able to deliver more effectively. And so I started to coach and become a certified leader in coaching. And I also became a certified leader in coaching. 10 plus years across all of those sectors to help leaders and teams to stretch, succeed, and soar. And so the reason why you're probably here today is that actually the reason you're watching this is you have an interest in what is emotional intelligence. You have an interest in what is going on. If you have an interest in how you relate to others. And Forbes, December 2020, definitely quoted that emotional intelligence is far becoming more important than IQ. And I was saying this, that actually you may be incredibly intelligent, and that is a good thing. But when you cannot have great relationship skills with others, if you cannot understand how aware you are of yourself, if you cannot understand how aware you are of others, then it really is going to become a struggle. Or you will achieve your goals, or you will set strategies, or you will manage to complete activities and even rise in your career. But does that mean that you have great connection with other people? And that's what emotional intelligence can help you with. So I want you to consider this. Where is the real challenge for you in your role? And the reason I ask this is because often when I do emotional intelligence assessment reports with others. And these are reports that I run where it's a 70+ questionnaire. It goes into all of the 10 emotional competency traits. It helps you really ask yourself some really hard questions. And just as you would with a technical assessment in whichever career or sector you're in, we do the same for our emotional intelligence traits as well. And a lot of this questioning is around 3 areas: how you work with your business tools and systems, how you are with others, and how you are with yourself. And what I find with a lot of my clients is that they can range from being really strong in one area or another. And this particular aspect that I'm going to cover today is about self-actualization. And to a certain degree, some maybe other practitioners would probably say, Denise, that's definitely in the yourself area. And I think I'd probably agree. But I think if you can't self-actualize and understand what that means for you, a lot of your planning, a lot of your strategy, a lot of your vision, a lot of your focus becomes a little bit blurred. But when we're going to delve a little bit deeper into it today, and hopefully it will give you a little bit more insight into what it is. But have a think, where is the real challenge for you in your role? And could it be all 3? Could it just be one or the other? And I find actually that a number of people who are sort of engineers and doctors and scientists that I work with, they tend to be absolutely brilliant at their business tools and their systems and using systems to get the job done, and try to have very little interaction with other people. And again, that's mixed with personality styles, it's mixed with character, it's mixed with what are your actual values for you and your life. And that goes into a different area, but we can cover that another time. So once you've thought about that, the emotional competency trait self-actualization, I now want you to think, what is your current vision for your project or your program? What is your current vision? What is it that you're actually aiming for? What are the plans that you've already started to put in place to achieve that particular vision for your project? And some of you, I know it's now getting towards a certain part of the year where it's the end of the year and we're starting to look into the new year. And sometimes that gives people a fresh approach towards planning and thinking about vision and future. But to be honest, strong leaders, strong team members always self-actualize every day, every single day, no matter what time of the year it is, no matter what time of the day it is, no matter what time of, whether it's end of month or beginning of the month, they are always self-actualizing and being really driven by their vision. So I want to ask of you, what is your current vision right now? What is it? And when you think about that, think about how driven are you towards achieving that vision? And if you think about it and you think, it's still woolly, it's still draft, and I'm waiting on some other things to make it happen, then that's okay. We can work a plan to achieve that. If you're looking at the vision and you're saying, yes, it's absolutely solid, it's wrapped around the corporate plan, it's wrapped around the strategy, it's going to produce benefits of A, B, or C, then great. That means that you've got the solid vision in place, and it means that you'll work even harder towards achieving it. And then there may be some visions that you have that actually there is no connection with anybody else having that vision whatsoever. It's just what some people would probably call a pipe dream, but it's bubbling up inside of you still. And you think, if only I could get that done or deliver this particular thing. That could be part of your vision as well. And when you self-actualize, even if that particular vision doesn't belong to anyone else, when you practice self-actualization, it starts to become shared, understood, and becomes real. So have a think of it from that aspect as well. So then the question I have for you is, or the presentation I've got for you now, is that actually the self-actualization is broken down into 3 areas. You can't just say, I self-actualize. It's not as simple as that. And I'm going to try my best to keep it simple for you so that we can go through how you can just take away some tips and some strategies. Normally, when I have a coaching program, I tend to spend more time with you, not just giving you a tip and strategy to go away with and do homework, but actually showing you how to implement that tip, how to implement that strategy, taking hold of some of your actual vision and focused goals and milestones that you need to achieve in your area, and helping you really break down how to achieve it. But the 3 traits that I want you to just think about right now, because you've just thought of the vision for your project or your program, I want you to think about these 3 traits: achievement drive, passion, and work-life balance. When you self-actualize, being able to achieve that vision for yourself, these are the 3 areas that you need to be able to work on, to work hard at, and to be able to deliver them really effectively. The achievement drive, that drive to achieve, that drive that takes you down the road, and no matter what, you're not looking in the back mirror, you're looking in the front mirror and you're going for it. You're checking to the side now and again just to see what's coming along, but it doesn't blur your vision. You've got that drive to just go for it. The passion is something that's more deep down within. The vision that you have was born, created, and came alive through a desire to see something happen, a desire for something to come alive, a desire for continuation or embedding of a particular aspect of of the work that you do. And the work-life balance is crucial in order for you to achieve that drive and that passion to keep going. Reason being, if the work-life balance is not balanced, then it can affect you achieving your vision and your focus. So let's look in those in a little bit more detail. The achievement drive. The achievement drive is absolutely key in being actually able to say, I have self-actualized, I've got the vision, and I'm going to achieve it. But in order for that to happen, you need to break it down a little bit further. You need to look at the way that you plan, look at the way that you achieve goals, and look at the way that you set goals. So let's look at that in a bit more detail then. So look at the way that you plan. How do you plan? Do you organize yourself to have effective time-bound activities? Do you set yourself the right people around you to be able to understand that vision, understand that focus? Because sometimes the plan will require more resources than that you can personally do. So that's where your relationship skills, your rapport, your engaging with other people comes in really useful. Because if you need to have others around you to help achieve that plan, then you're going to have to engage really well with them to just be that inspiring leader. When I say achieve goals here, you've got to have a drive to achieve the vision and the focus, absolutely. But there are times where some people, because of that deeper feeling of, I cannot succeed, that uncertainty about success, sometimes they get so far, achieve so many milestones, and then when it gets to the point to really absolutely nail selling, marketing, delivering, achieving, innovating, they stop short. Are you in that space? And if you are, it means that you're not achieving your goals, even though you are achieving little goals all along the way. That final hurdle is worth it. And then there are some leaders and teams who actually, they've got a vision, they've got a focus, but are they setting the goal? And what I mean by that is the ultimate vision could be to create a product, for instance. In order to achieve that, you need to put a plan together. That plan needs individual milestones all along the way. And those milestones are goals to being set to make sure you decide what the plan is going to be, decide what the product's going to be, start creating the product until the product is completed. Those are individual goals and milestones that are set on the plan to then achieve the goal. And sometimes, don't get me wrong, there are also times, don't do all aspects of that or are better aspects of that than others. But more than anything, it's just recognizing that, being aware of that and working on it. So the strategy tip I have for you here is just to practice satisfaction in the small things. The small things of writing down a plan, the small things of setting goals, the small things of achieving the goals and celebrating them as well, the small things of engaging with the right resources and mentors and team to be able to continue with that drive. Just using the car analogy again to wrap this one up. If you are visually focused on the road ahead, you've planned out where you're going, which road you're going to take. When you achieve the goals along the way, then actually that's part of, I've now reached halfway to my destination, or I've reached 3/4 of the way to my destination, or I've seen a landmark now that when I've turned left, I recognize that and I know I'm nearly there. And then when you set the goals of, I am going to stop and grab a coffee at this service or this motorway station, then those are again achieved along the way until eventually you achieve that total vision and focus. That's all just one aspect of self-actualization. Let's just go a little bit more into it. So the trait of passion. The trait of passion is actually, you know, and I love this picture here because when you hear someone playing a violin, the mood it sets, the emotion that it creates, the sound that it has, it really just gives you that connection, really, connection. Now, in order for your goals to really be achieved, a lot of it has to be value-driven, motivated, and enthusiastic. There we go. Value-driven, motivated, enthusiastic. Now, when it's value-driven, that means that when you are aiming for your vision and your focus with passion, you usually lean on your values to make it work. What I mean by that is if you are driving down that road, towards that project, towards that program, you are driving with integrity. You're driving with honesty. You're driving with focus. You're driving with a decisiveness about you. And all of those things are values that you have as a leader or a member of a team. In order for that passion to stay alive, you also need to be motivated. As I mentioned yesterday, there are different motivational types. Are you motivated by fear, power, accountability, sociability? What is it that you know, and this is probably worth you spending some time doing, is what actually drives me to stay motivated? Because when you're motivated, that drives the passion to achieve to success. And then not only are you motivated, but you are enthusiastic. And when you're enthusiastic about the passion for that vision that you have, it means then that sometimes you don't stay quiet. Sometimes you have to tell somebody. Sometimes you have to remind the team, guess what? Remember, this is what we're doing. And enthusiasm is absolutely key as well, because guess what? No matter how amazingly well you are at planning, setting goals, achieving objectives, there will always be challenges. There will always be an issue along the way. And if you're not enthusiastic, you will find that that challenge will drive you crazy or just cause you to stop suddenly along that road. Remember the car, brake. You're still motivated, you still want to achieve it, you're still value driven, but if you're not enthusiastic, then you'll look around and look in the rear view mirror and look in the side mirrors and think, I cannot keep going here, or I need to stop because this challenge means that one of my goals will not be achieved. So let's move on then to the third trait of self-actualization. For this one, work-life balance is one that, as human beings, we have always had a challenge with this, but it's not impossible. The three aspects of the work-life balance is how we pursue a healthy lifestyle, contented and have broad interests. So the healthy lifestyle will be different for everyone. As a leader, your lifestyle and the way that you eat, sleep, and exercise will be different for others. But we're finding, and I remember actually, I just stopped there for a moment because I remember I was in a coaching session once where I was coaching a client. They were really enthusiastic about what we were talking about, but they actually started to fall asleep, to nod off. So I changed the questioning slightly, and just going into the work-life balance, realized actually there are some particular health issues that caused the sleepiness. When it causes the sleepiness, it then causes the attention. The lack of attention is no longer there. It then causes them not to focus as much. It then causes the teams to be wondering what's wrong. It then causes you to look at that leader and think something's not quite right, and they do need to spend time eating healthily or getting more sleep, or if they're up many hours of the night, spending time still working on milestones and goals. You cannot run a leadership life like that, you need to have the time to rest. And the brain needs sleep in order to run effectively. And if you think you're running effectively now on what you sleep on, the hours that you sleep on, that's great. But just try extending it a little bit more. If it's 4 hours, because I know there are some leaders, and especially some entrepreneurs as well, who, you know, the Elon Musks and the Richard Bransons of the world, who only sleep on 4 hours or 5 hours. There's a balance that they've had of sleeping 4 hours, but then they get up and do their best work up until midday and then enjoy the rest of the day. So we can't always be like that. And if you can imagine, if you're still thinking you're successful on the healthy lifestyle you have now, can you imagine if you just took a look at it and made a few adjustments? Might make a difference. There needs to be a contentment. Whatever's happening in your personal life does cause you to feel contented or discontented. When that happens, and you know, you often hear the story, the manager was doing so well, but I heard this has happened or that has happened with their work life, with their home life, with their personal life. And sometimes that causes discontentment and can then affect the balance of that vision, the balance of that focus. And then also the broad interests. Sometimes we need to be laser focused, and I totally agree with that. But then there are also times where if you just open up your interests a little bit broader and just explore other sectors, what are they doing? If you're in engineering, explore what's going on in the art world. If you're in the art world, explore what's going on in the scientific world. Talk to friends and share with others what you are actually doing versus what they are doing. Because what you'll find is that actually the self-actualization, no matter what sector you are in, and as I've mentioned, I've been in at least 7 different sectors now in my career, you will always learn and be interested in something that you can just borrow that idea or borrow that idea and add it to your plans to achieve your milestones. So the tip here is personal and professional goals are vital. If you have a personal goal to eat better, sleep more, and exercise, for instance, then your professional goal of hitting that milestone, achieving that goal, and reaching that vision, whatever that might be for your project or your program, then those things are vital. But what we find is that we are imbalanced sometimes. You can get up early to get to commute and get to the place of work, for instance, and get things done and meet those meetings and complete the agenda and finish that workshop off in the afternoon. If you were to apply the same activity to your personal life, that helps you with your work-life balance. Definitely. It's just a slight tweak in our brains, nothing major, so that we calendarize, can I use that word? When you put your personal life in the calendar as well, it starts to help you get that balance in order. So, self-actualization, what is your vision and focus like? When you're aiming for your goals, is it going up and down and making its way down that way? Or is it sometimes going up like the blue arrow? And I love the arrow anyway. I wouldn't change the arrow for myself because I think that's genuine life. It's up and down, because we cannot predict what the challenges are going to be. All sorts of things come our way. But what's important in order for you to absolutely, actually achieve your vision and focus is to stay on that blue journey. Because then you will reap and enjoy the benefits of this particular emotional intelligence trait. Again, I said it's only 1 of 10. Can you imagine being able to work on all of these things on a regular basis? And so with that, I always offer a personal one-to-one session. If you want to know what that's like, then do give me a call and we can work out what is best for you. Is it best that you have a one-to-one with me? Is it best that you come on a 5-week coaching program? Or should it be an 8-week coaching program? The coaching programs also include, as you can see on the screen there, a questionnaire, a major report. We work together to work on more emotional intelligence for you, transforming your personal development, getting rid of some of those pains, annoyances, frustrations, and overwhelms that you are always facing, possibly on a daily basis as a leader or a member of a team. When I do the 20-page team report, that is also not just what you think about yourself, but it gives you that 360 dimension as well, from your manager, your leader, your friends, your family, however many you want to choose. Up to 20 people can respond to that questionnaire anonymously. So when I get that report, I can not only see what you have created and think of yourself, but also the perception of others, and that can really help us drive a brilliant personalized coaching program for you. So if any of those are of interest, please do get in touch, let me know, and we can spend time helping you to have your emotional intelligence greater than your IQ. It's so crucial. And if Forbes can be quoting that, and I think if you are following me on LinkedIn, I did put a post the other day from Richard Branson, who absolutely agrees. Somebody who's an entrepreneur, he's also dyslexic and declares that as well, has highlighted that he is a perfect example that it's not IQ that gets you successful. It's using his emotional intelligence traits, connection, rapport, collaboration to really build relationships and help him get from where he used to be to where he is now. So with that, I'm going to end there, and thank you very much for joining me. If there are any questions or queries that you have that you'd like to reach out to me, then please do so.